Welcome everyone to pre-market prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you for the next 19 minutes as we head into the close here. Joel, I was looking at, before we came on here, looking at stocks making new 52-week highs and stocks making new 52-week lows. And there are a lot more stocks making highs. The list of highs is a who's who of big names here. Names like Facebook and Amazon and Shopify and Spotify. Not many stocks making new lows today. I think we are on the full reopening train trade today.
We are. You could probably spend the remainder of the podcast here just going over the stocks in the new high list. Good. Once again, you have a strong market overnight. Follow through into the regular session. 54.5 was your open for the regular session. Only went 2.25 points below that before you blasted off. Interesting level on the upside, which we still may hit today. For Tuesday's session, Monday's session, you had a high at 76.25. You got up to 75.75, so just missed that target on the upside. That represents the high for the rebound here. Haven't been up here since I'd say early February. Really should easily improve on the closing high of the rebound. That was from Monday at 28.48. So, from yesterday's session, 28.48. So we are due just to attack on more gains here and migrate towards that 3,000 level. Oil helping out, as you mentioned, up $1.75. Did have some resistance at $33. That was the highs of your last two sessions. But boom, you took that out, trading in the after hours at 33.79, 33.78 your high, up $1.76 at 33.72, helping out the oil sector, which we know needed a little bit of a boost. Gold in the green by 5.80 at 17.51.40. Silver up over $18 at 18.02. That's up 12 cents. And we got a diverse crowd listening to us today. If it's just true, Spencer. Friday guy says he's from New Orleans in the house. And then Tama says she's from New Zealand in the house. How the heck did you find us all the way from New Zealand, Tama?
I'd like to know that. I would say New Zealand is near the top, if not at the top, of my list of places I want to visit.
Yeah.
I very, very, very much want to go to New Zealand. Plus, I saw that they're opening their schools. So they are ahead of the rest of the world in that regard. So things seem like it's not that bad over there. I think I saw they have there's been 21 deaths in the whole country from COVID. So props to New Zealand for doing a good job of handling this crisis.
Tom from France is joining us too. I mean, do we have an international crowd here, Spencer?
Well, the markets are global, and so are we.
I don't know. You take these people. This guy's saying he's from Dubai. This other person's India, Germany, India. I don't know. I don't know about this. Yeah, Ryan, I am still saddled with some Twilio puts, and I have other puts written against them lower. So not a good day for me in Twilio put land, but pretty much know my max loss on it, so I can write it out for now. Blasting off here towards 29.70. In about 5 minutes, we'll get those imbalances. Let's go into some of those individual stocks.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at Facebook here, and I'm pretty sure this day is driven by this Facebook Shops news, and that was out yesterday. Yeah, that was out yesterday, but it's following through today. I don't know what else this move, aside from just general positive sentiment, I'm not really sure what else to attribute this move to. Maybe there isn't a reason for it, but it would seem to be related to or follow through reaction to the Facebook Shops news yesterday. Because today you saw a bunch of analysts come in and say that it's a great idea. So I don't know.
Yeah, really outpacing the market here. 6.5% versus the S&P, which up 1.71%. So big day for Facebook. Getting a question here, can it go higher? Well, right now it's a freight train, so we can just keep an eye on the daily levels. 231.34. That's your current high for the session. Looks like you're going to close near there. So, just get your daily levels, get your closing highs, and, really concentrate more of the closing high of the move than the actual high. So, wherever we close at today, that should be your bogey for tomorrow. Of course, you want to see follow through as always, but really strong move. Opened up 23.50, take 23.19 off to the races there for Facebook. And that is a new all time high by a wide margin. The indexers, I mean, it's the fifth biggest component in the index, moving up. The index is moving up. It's along for the ride, but far outpacing the broad market.
And same story with Amazon here.
Yep, Amazon, new all-time high. We talked about 24.75 on earnings day, closed 24.74, and then dumped to 22.50, back up here. Why not look for 2,500 in this one, folks? Got to 24.9888. At 25 is nothing but a psychological level here. Since we approach that 29.70 level, few sellers coming in here, but we'll see if we can bounce up and close on that high for the day.
And like I said, the list of stocks making new highs today is just a who's who of big names. eBay, PayPal, EA is on the list. Zynga is on that list. Take-Two, even Chipotle. I mean, it hasn't stopped going up. So Shopify, Spotify, like I said, they're just a lot of big names making new highs today.
Got to do 52-week high, but you got to be impressed with the House of Mouse here.
And they're due to present. I believe it's tomorrow. Disney World and SeaWorld and Universal are due to present their plans to the state as far as how they're going to reopen their parks. And so we're getting a nice rally into the close in those names.
Yeah, real nice move for those is hopes for reopening soon, or at least in some kind of basis. Is it too early to talk about a 50% retracement in Disney? Let's see. You went from 153, let's call it, down to $80. So let's just call it a 70-point move. Add 35 on half of that. You're already getting back half of that move. 120.87 is your current high for the session. And before this all started, let me see if I can find a daily high for you. Boom, 121.78. That was your high back before things got bad here on March 3rd. And your next daily high is 122.90. Some sellers coming into the close here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are starting to pull back. We are now 28.62.50.
Yeah, just a lot of stocks up today. So I'm getting the sense, Joel, and maybe tell me if you agree with me on this. I think it's fair to say that the initial correction, the initial move downward in March, that we got overextended on that, and now we're getting a little bit overextended to the upside, and I think we're gonna just sort of oscillate, and the waves are gonna get smaller, and we're gonna slowly consolidate here. I think we've probably come a little bit too far, a little bit too fast. I'm not saying we shouldn't be up. I'm just saying I think maybe we're a little bit too up from where we were. Maybe I feel like there's a nice happy medium that the market will eventually find. It may take a few weeks or a few months, but they'll eventually find it as the waves get smaller. No?
I mean, there's a lot of upward momentum right now, Spencer, coming out of that Q1 earnings season. We could talk about the earnings reactions to stocks, but momentum. I mean, the momentum is to the upside here. So to attempt to see the momentum turn or head south, just going to at least need a little bit of consolidation. And right now, just a rocket ship mode. I mean, you can bank on, you can look at that high at 29.75.75, and you can say, hey, you got a potential double tops here. But you know what that's done for you in the market? I mean, you could pull up the daily. Actually, we got to 76.25 yesterday. So you could theoretically say we got a pair of highs in there, but you could say that a lot in this market, and then it just barrels through overnight. Buyers coming in the morning, but right now, that's your bogey. That's your stop if you're trying to pick a top here. 20 right there. Just call it 29.76. Tailing off a little bit into the close. Maybe saw some imbalances to the sell side. We'll have to check that before we end the day. But yeah, maybe you are
Right.
calling the top of the trading range here, Spencer,
So
and people are calling me for
maybe.
to be easy on you today. So I'm going to do
So
that.
so so look at what's not participating today. Some retail is not
Yeah.
participating, and then also China. And the China stocks are down because they had news. There was some macro news on the issue here. The Senate passed a bill today that is basically increasing the amount of oversight on China, well, foreign companies, but they're targeting China, and it would have to require any foreign company listing on the U.S. exchange. They'd have to certify that they're not run by state government, and also they must submit to. Must be able to see 3 consecutive years worth of audits, and if they can't do that, then you're going to get delisted. So this is clearly targeted at China as a
Yeah.
result, probably due to the Luckin Coffee mess. But China is not participating with the rest of the market today.
Yeah, I see Alibaba here trading in the red a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, it's rhetoric, you know? I mean, you could pay attention to this stuff and you could say, whether it's good for, your Chinese stocks or bad for the Chinese stocks. Obviously, more scrutiny, the better. But I think right now, there's just such a bigger focus here in the US economy and our lives is the pandemic. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think this is bravado coming out of the White House, banging their chest, making themselves look good,
Well,
hurting the
this
Chinese stocks a little bit. But to me, uh, you know, I just can't factor that kind of things into my
yeah, that's fair.
mathematical equations.
And this came out of Congress, so it's not just the White House here. Let's look at a couple of earnings that we discussed this morning. Target making pretty much the same moves today that Walmart
Did.
made yesterday, Joel.
And even in Target and Lowe's, very pronounced move here. The Target is trading down here at 387. It had to pop in the pre-market. This is a little bit concerning because what better than fundamental news are you going to get than good earnings? And they jacked this thing on the initial headline to 126.45. That wasn't quite within the all-time high. Sold off into the session, right into the regular session, and then it was just like I want out. Now this one was a little bit different.
Wait, I'm
Uh,
sorry, Joel. Are you on Target right now or Lowe's?
yeah, I'm on
Sorry.
Target. What
Okay.
one we want to do?
No,
Target.
no, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, this one you got a little bit more of a pop off the open. 124.09. Couldn't get to yesterday's high. Turned around. Maybe had a big seller at 125 and then turned around and now you're red on the session. So I don't know. When you have big stocks like this, they have the big earnings and then they don't follow through on the earnings. You make them a little bit skeptical. Same thing with Lowe's. That did make a new all-time high in the regular session. Opened up this one. If you were so inclined to short that open 122.61, 122.69 high, and then just step down sellers came in. In fact, you almost got to yesterday's low in this one. Yesterday's low 115.45, today's low 115.52. So if you're holding on after that earnings report, you sure want to see that 115.5 hold. Little bit of a trap door down to 108.5 on that. And so we will keep an eye on that. Also, there are some big old sellers in here, and I don't mean big, I mean big. 7 million shares traded yesterday, and that looks like around the well, that was a little bit up from the average daily volume. 18.3 million shares are trading here.
Wow.
So big liquidation here in Lowe's on an earnings report. Not exactly that's what you want to see.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of volume.
A lot of volume.
That's all I'll say.
And
Okay.
just following
Yeah.
up on Walmart, not much of a bounce after that price action yesterday, up only 40 cents. So luster's come off on these stocks a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, with Walmart, it's It's not so much a revenue problem; it's an expenses problem. But yeah, let's look ahead to the on the calendar here. What's due to report after the close today, before the open tomorrow? Today we're going to get L brands after the close, and not much else that sticks out to me. But tomorrow is a big morning here.
What you got for
We're gonna
us?
get BJ's, Macy's, Best Buy, TJX. So four big retailers tomorrow, Medtronic as well, and then Nvidia is after the close. So big day tomorrow. Baba's on Friday.
So far, the trend has been, if these stocks to get pops to sell it, right? I mean, that's been the trend. Now, these stocks all have a different character to them. Like L Brands, the stock has been beat up after that deal was pulled off the table. So somehow, if they could get through the $13 level, I'm taking a look at that right now. 3 days in a row, you bumped your head against 13, 12.90, 13.11, and 12.87. Going to close around 12.20, it looks like here. So on a pop, see what happens at $13. If they decide to take this thing out to the woodshed, which which has been done a lot in this stock, I'd be keeping an eye on the $10 area. 3 lows between 10.03 and 10 and a quarter, going back to May 13th, 14th, and 15th.
I'm
Disney
trying to
is
find.
not presenting their reopening proposal to Florida officials. That's on CNBC.
They're
Not
not
sure how that.
presenting. They're not
They're not
presenting.
presenting. That's what it says.
Oh, that can't be good.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of momentum. Maybe
I
they're
mean,
not
they
going
were.
to do it tomorrow, but they're going to do the day before. That has taken it off the highs for the session, but still a good day. Outpacing the index, up 4.7% at 119.78.
Geez. Okay. Well, they're scheduled to report, so I guess why would they delay it or
Not,
present?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Uh,
Maybe they want to wait. Maybe they want to make it a little bit more, improve on it a little bit. That's the only thing I can theorize.
I don't know. Did you see that Andrew Left came out on Inovio, INO today? And that stock is, I mean, we talked about this morning. Same move as Moderna. Just
Yeah,
straight.
that Myrna was all over the place, huh? Left here. I'm not sure what time he came out with this news, but
Let's find
this
out.
stock, yeah, this stock popped to its all-time high into pre-market trading and just couldn't hold those gains. So whether or not Mr. Left is, had any influence on the stock today, I don't know. But it is still in the green, filled the gap from yesterday. So I'll be keeping an eye on $15. When I mean the gap, your high from yesterday 15.12, today 15 even. Still a good day. I mean, Mr. Left just not exerting kind of influence that he used to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's already short this one, which is probably why it's coming out today. But not looking good for his position, and when his shorts are going to new highs like that. All right, 359 here, Joel. Any final thoughts on today's market?
That little fake out, I don't know what you saw as far as imbalances
I
go.
saw a small one. Nothing. I don't think anything
Nothing
worth noting.
major.
No.
Sold off a tad, but as far as I'm concerned, closing strong here near the highs of the session. Your high 29.75.75. Yesterday's high 29.76 and a quarter. So you're clear. You're clear bogey on the upside tomorrow to hit, to maybe take a shot. I was looking at the dailies, and really above this area, there's not a whole lot until you get over 3,000. So with this, the way this thing has been moving up during the night, who knows? We may be looking up, seeing that S&P over 3,000.
Someone on the YouTube chat asking if this is a Witching Friday. It is not. It's the third Friday of March. Let me see if March, June, September, December. Did I get that right, Joel?
Yep, March,
Okay.
June, September, and December. I believe is an option exhibit. This is our third Friday,
It's the
right?
third Friday, so there are options, but it's
Yes.
not. It's not a witching.
Yeah.
One.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. 2 days left in those options. Just remember, if you're, trading the options for next week, a little bit shorter of a trading week with the
Sure.
holiday.
True.
So, keep that in mind. Get a little extra day of time decay there.
All right, that's it for us. Thanks for hanging out. Please remember all the information from this broadcast is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Oh.